Hello everyone, welcome to Terra Angel Intuitive. This is Jess and I'm here today to do another reading. Today's reading feels a little bit different than some of the other ones. It doesn't feel quite as heavy, which is a good thing for me, so I don't have to sit in some of those deeper energetic fields. But if you're new here, I want to say welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe, or you can just wait to the end to see if anything resonates with you. Any of the messages that I do, they are collective readings, which means that there are many different energies that I'm picking up on, so it's not very specific. But if you found it, then that means that there is some kind of message in here that's going to be beneficial to you on your journey. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't know what most of these cards are. I do read a little bit differently. I don't necessarily go with a traditional tarot spread or even some of the traditional tarot meanings. I read the pictures on the card, the energy on the card. I use a lot of my intuitive abilities to be able to get the message that Spirit does give to me. So if you are looking to learn the traditional meanings, there are many other great tarot readers on YouTube. So maybe one of them will better help you with your journey. This is just the style that I do, and it works for me, so I'm going to roll with it. I've already cleared my space. I've already meditated and spoken with my spirit team, and I think we are ready to get going. I will say, though, that while I was pulling cards, I feel a lot of pressure and scratchiness within my throat. So that's kind of letting me know that whatever messages are in here, either one or both or whoever the energies are, because I feel several different energies within this, that there's a lot of things that are not being said. And by holding back some of what's being said, I think it's leading to confusion. And maybe even confusion about whether to stay or not, since I did say the word leaving instead. So it's definitely worth keeping that in mind. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot yet what these cards are going to say, so we're just going to roll with it and see where we end up going. Okay, so we're going to start over here. So I have Atlantis, Balance. Okay. All right, I have Galactic and Love Life. I'm hearing the word written in the stars with this one. So that is speaking of destiny to me. Not quite sure where we're going with it, but this is a love that has been going on for many, many, many lifetimes. So there is a strong connection that you might be feeling with somebody, and you can't explain why you feel this way. You may have only just met them. It just may be one of those things where even if you've only known them for a very short amount of time, it feels like you haven't. It feels like this is something that's been cultivating for a very, very, very long time. Many, many lifetimes. But we have the Balance card. Believe it or not, is throwing me off a little bit. So we're gonna keep moving, and then that might clarify that for me. Okay, so we're gonna go bottom pile first. Laugh more. Queen. Okay. This energy, we have a feminine who is bogged down right now, stressed out, not necessarily living in that flow state. Kind of, this feels like an imbalance of energy to me. So this feminine energy is heavier than what it's supposed to be for the relationship to be balanced and working out. I'm gonna get some more cards here too. I'm really picking up on just confusion with the whole situation. Not sure what to think, not sure, kind of really analyzing your behavior, their behavior, what it is, what it may not be. Am I making something up? Is this all in my head? So there's a lot of back and forth, wishy-washy type feeling, thoughts that go along with this. Okay. This one says reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. The balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. So yeah, that goes back here to this one. You're really making sure that everybody else is okay, and in doing that, you're not taking care of what you need to balance it out. Again, you're living in those denser, worrisome emotions. You may be having to provide and be the sole provider for the family that you're in. You may be the one that the pressure is all on to perform or to make things happen, or to see that everything gets done the way that it's supposed to be doing. And by doing that, you are essentially neglecting to take care of your own energetic needs or spiritual needs. Basically putting everybody else first, even if you have a family, because the child in here stands out. So you're doing everything that you have to do for them at the expense of you and maybe your relationships or maybe your happiness. Okay, so we have love, unconditional love, self-love, wholeness, affection, attraction, selflessness. So again, that self-love, needing to spend more time doing things that you love, finding that balance within yourself. And hammer. Working on getting your life back together. There may have been a situation that you were not expecting. You may have lost a job, or you may have had to move because you needed to take care of a parent who was sick. You got divorced. I don't necessarily feel a love connection for most of you guys. I think it was more of an external situation where you had to make a change in your life, or there was a significant change. And so now you are having to take on more responsibilities than you had previously. And that means less time, or having to give up things that you once enjoyed doing. For financial constraints, for time constraints. There's a lot of things that can go in there, but the focus has been more on taking care of what needs to get taken care of right now. Okay, so we're going to go with these two first. So we have this garden here, and that is you taking care and making sure things are provided for and growing. Okay. And the dog. So you are loyal to that, but also to me, this particular one is you are kind of keeping a situation at bay. We'll do it this way. Keeping a situation at bay in order for you to take care of this. So maybe there were some financial issues where you had to defer student loans in order to make sure you're providing for your family. So external circumstances have gotten in the way of you spending time focusing on yourself. Okay, and we have the Queen of Wands negative here. So yeah, that shows me that energy where you are, standing firm, what you believe in. You're tired, you're kind of laying there, but you're protecting and making sure you cherish what is yours here. Okay, along with that Three of Swords. So it's almost as if you feel to a certain degree at a loss to the circumstances that are coming at you or that are around you. It's almost like some moments you just want to give up. Enough is enough. I'm done. I'm over with it. Other moments you're really willing to stand firm and not budge on any of your beliefs and what's going on. And again, there are also some nights where you are just crying out to God, like, I don't know what else I can do. But that's all behind closed doors. You're not letting anybody see the surrender, the helplessness. You're not letting anybody see that. You're kind of in this energy right now to the rest of the world. I got it. Don't worry about me. I'll take care of what I need to take care of. I'm good. And you're not letting them know or see the vulnerability. You're not showing any weakness. And so by doing that, that is putting you off kilter with the feminine energy that you need to be in for a balanced divine masculine, divine feminine love relationship. Even within yourself. It doesn't have to be with another partner. I'm picking up another person in this particular read, but it could be all internal. Okay. All right, so let's go up here. We're going to actually start with this one first. Okay, the cross. So there's a burden to bear. The energy I'm picking up here is very closed off, very shrouded, protected, elusive. It's not necessarily negative. I'm not picking up a negative energy on this. I'm just picking up a type of energy where they don't want to show any vulnerability or whatever any of their cards are. It's almost like a full body mask is what I heard. Like they're so encloaked in their identity, and that's who they are, and that's who they want everybody to see who they are, that it's almost as if they don't even realize that they may have a different person within themselves, shielding themselves with the mystery. And with the black cat too, I'm hearing Egypt. So again, that kind of goes back to many, many, many lifetimes that you and this person have interacted. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands negative. And in this one, it's almost as if he's falling flat on his face. He's all bandaged up and a lot of missteps, a lot of uneven footing. So instability. Which is totally different from here. It's almost as if this is an internal energy. He doesn't know what's up right from down and not stable in the direction that he's going, but this is how he is appearing to everybody else. So he may be, and it's not a gender when I'm using he and she, these are energies that I am picking up on. So he may be really internally struggling, maybe with the connection, and not sure if it's a spiritual connection, not sure what it means. And there's just a lot of chaos, but there's also a lot of things that are tripping him up too. But he's not going to come across that way. There is a stoicism to that particular energy. Room with a view. Kind of wanting to look at things from a higher vantage point, right? All knowing, all seeing, wanting to see what situation is before any moves are made. Enjoy the sunset. And not really wanting to be committed with anything is the energy I'm getting from that one. Let's see what the other cards say though, because I can't, this particular energy I'm not getting a good read on, because there's such a dichotomy between the inside, the struggles within the soul, within the mind, especially with the spiritual component, with it's almost as if this energy wants these things, but he's not sure how to go about getting it, or he's creating a lot of the chaos within his life, or there's so much chaos within his life that he doesn't even think any of this is possible and what's going on. Passion. Okay. Insane chemistry, sparks, and having fun, equal interest, and burning desire. Yeah, this particular energy is struggling because he's not used to having the chaos that the feminine energy has kind of brought into his life. This came out of nowhere for both of them. 100%. Each were kind of going about their business, and somehow they crossed paths, and it definitely rocked his world, even though he's not going to be showing it, and she is just not exactly sure, do I invest? Do I not? Do I have time for this? I don't want to put myself in a situation where I make another mistake, or I don't have time. It's her side of things. And he's just rocked off balance with whatever it was. Okay. Ask. So it says, ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We're governed by many universal laws, and among them is free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request. So he's in this state of chaos. And in this state of chaos, he feels the passion. He feels the burning sense of desire, a room with a view. This can also be interpreted as him, allowing spirit to come in and to help with the situation. And I think there's a hesitancy along with it, because he's shrouded here. So that means that he may not even be spiritually open. He could believe in religion, right? He could have a belief, but it's not a spiritual connection. And that could be lead to a lot of these feelings here. because it doesn't logically make sense. This figure is following logical rules of a religion. But there's no vulnerability. Spirit wants you to come vulnerable. That's when they can step in and help you. So there's definitely a lot of mixed feelings, which is the up and the down. And this one, while she wants to have the help and the guidance, because she's willing to come and call out. So this particular feminine may be more spiritually connected than the masculine in this particular one. And the best thing that can happen for this particular relationship is for the woman not to take on another, I hate to say project, but that's what's coming to mind, another project, another burden, another person to worry about and take care of their needs. Instead of doing that, it's important for the balance of things for the feminine to focus on herself and give energy that she would give to other people, other situations that are not reciprocating it. Because I don't think this masculine in this position is able to reciprocate it at this point. If he, in this particular energy at that state, he's not able to reciprocate in a way that is going to fulfill her and give her that balance. It's just going to add one more thing onto the list of, responsibilities or things to have to take care of. Okay, so let's see where we go from here. We're gonna start with, since it's near the masculine. Okay. So this one I'm getting is kind of overcoming obstacles. I see this particular figure as the same shrouded guy here to a certain degree, only that he's kind of uncloaked part of him. He's kind of finally seeing what is going on. But he doesn't know how to overcome or get to the other side. It's almost as if he's finally looking at what he's been shrouding the whole time. That looks like a similar face here. Finally facing some truths that he hasn't wanted to confront in what's going on in his life. And being protective about it, very defensive. Very defensive. I'm sorry, guys. I just got so itchy all of a sudden. Okay. Oh. So this one is commitment, but I'm hearing eternity. So it's almost as if there's a certain degree of denial. He feels the pull, right? But because this one was face down, right? He doesn't want to admit that it was as serious as it felt, as deeply connected as it felt, because this is not a situation that he wants. He's not looking for this. And every time, or all the experience he's had in the past where there was a serious commitment, he's been screwed over. This is not something that he wants. This is not necessarily a journey that he wants to take, but he's at least opening his eyes and seeing and recognizing that is there. So there's the ignorance is not to the same level as it was kind of over here. Okay. Unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection, return, blowing kisses. Yeah, this one, it's almost as if he doesn't want to acknowledge that he feels more than what he feels. That's not something he wants. And again, I'm picking up on a very stubborn masculine energy. That's really gonna fight. Okay, so I'm seeing the way these are laid out here. I'm also getting that it's a very divine connection. Yeah. This is divinely led. This is supposed to happen. It's been written in the stars, right? This is a union that's supposed to happen. Everybody has free will though, okay? It doesn't mean that you don't have spirit trying to help you, but it could be that the connection needs to happen to help one or the other grow for their life purpose. Or it could be that you are meant to be together. Okay. So Kundalini, which is a very spiritual relationship. In a nutshell, there's a lot more to Kundalini energy. I'm not going to go into it in this reading, but it is a very powerful, sacred, well-balanced, spiritual energy. And betrayal. Yeah. That the relationship that he had before that really did a number on him. And so, or it could be you, but I'm getting that it happened to the masculine. So he is not even wanting to entertain the idea of any type of relationship at this point. Okay, so we're going to go back to down. We're going to go down to this. No, I have to go here. Okay, so I got to do the bottom card for. Okay, yeah. We have the High Priestess in reverse. There is a denial of the spiritual aspect, the divine connection. He is fighting his intuition and his spirituality. Yeah, he does not want to acknowledge that is divinely guided. Okay, this one was yeah. And the Six of Swords, negative. This is almost like how his last relationship left him. Empty, broken, not prosperous, barren, without anything. So I'm getting that he went for relationships in the past. He went against his intuition in those past ones, which ended up knowing, or he knew that they were not good for him, but he did it anyways. And so with this particular one, now that he's being led a different way, he's had such a bad experience in the last ones that he doesn't really want to take a chance at all, because he's still trying to rebuild and recoup. He's depleted. He's just in a dark, depleted state right now. Okay, this one was crossing over it. Okay. Page of Pentacles. And I got one side that's positive and one side that's negative. And the way I'm reading this is that he's kind of at a crossroads. Where do I maybe look into it? Is this something that was predestined? Is this something that, Spirit had planned for me? Or if I take it, is it going to be something that just leaves me in an even worse situation? Am I going to be financially worse off? Am I going to have to go to the court system again? Am I going to be legally bound in a situation that leaves me empty? So there's the struggle and the concern with, is this even really worth it? I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to take the chances of something good happening because this is so bad. Shock, sudden change, shocking news, surprise and epiphany, and transformation. Yeah, this came out of nowhere for him. He had zero intentions of ever thinking. He would have been fine never having a relationship again, because the last one did such a number on him. Yeah, okay, we have the innocence. And this is a picture of a woman holding a baby with a halo. Beautiful colors too. So this one says, Blessed One, everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger, or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. Yeah, he doesn't know to call out to God. I'm also getting, though, that for some of you, he could be dealing with the mother of a child or children that he has that ultimately betrayed him. So that commitment that he thought he had broke his heart, broke his ego, broke his self-worth. It left him in that state of depletion in dealing with the situation. And that he's not one to ask for help. He's used to doing it himself, climbing his own mountain, finding his own way about doing it. But he's so protected. He's so protected that he doesn't end up in it. And he did not expect for you to come in and introduce color into his life. Introduce life into his life. You know, you're a force. Boundaries. You've had to put up boundaries too in navigating the changes that have happened. Unrequited love. So he could have been in love before and it turned out badly with the mother of his kids. It was one-sided, or I'm getting the word not reciprocated. Unappreciated for what he actually provided in the relationship. But he was still expected to give everything, even though he was not getting equally in return. And that caused the imbalance in that previous relationship, leading to the betrayal. You know, feeling like he was betrayed because he was obligated to traditional roles, is how I'm hearing it. So if he's the father, then he had to provide. He had to take care of the needs of the children. He had to do child support. He had to do X, Y, and Z. Whatever responsibilities that he was brought up believing to be his traditional responsibilities, that's what he got caught up in. And when it wasn't seen or it was taken advantage of, then there's the betrayal along with that. Okay. I have spouse. Yeah. And let's see what this one is. Okay, leaving or okay, so he's left that situation behind. He doesn't want to go back to any situation like that, and he's going to get as far away from another romance like that one was. He's got one foot out the door. His bags are always packed. He's not getting comfortable. Once you start talking about commitments, he is out the door. Never going to see him again. Dust in the wind. Nervous wreck, yeah, it makes him so anxious with what's going on. And sticks and stones. He's going to pretend like he is not affected by what's going on. He's going to pretend like he doesn't want love. He's not interested. Nothing hurt him. Nobody can hurt him. He's kind of, again, in this type of energy. Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not giving you any vulnerabilities. You're not going to take advantage of me. It's kind of lonely going through the world like this. Okay, so coming down here. And so this is you, right? This is your energy. Where, again, you feel like it's rooted. That whatever connection you have has deep, deep, deep roots. You've kind of done it before. But on this particular tree, you are just kind of, I hate to say getting strung along, but to a certain degree you are. Like it's half in, half out. Or you're not exactly sure if this is something to hang on to, if it's something that is going to be worth it. I mean, you feel that it could be because there's a key right here. And I see a skull to me that is showing kind of past lives before. I've got a clock showing, again, past lives. And we've got spiders that are with a couple different webs. So it shows that they're, you can, everything's interwoven together. We've got this, I think it's an apple. I'm not sure it's an apple or a flower, but we have a pear on here. So it can bear fruit. It's not dead, it's still growing, but it's kind of in an in-between stage. There's also a house at the top of it. So this is something that it's worth hanging on to. But you're really not seeing anything from it right now. And you've got boundaries up, because that's a boundary. You have a boundary up because there's a lot of confusion with this situation. You can't see it clearly, because you don't have information, or you're not being given information, or you may not even have contact with this particular person based on the umbrella that I see and the loneliness. So these are just your thoughts, like kind of going back and forth. Like, do I feel what I feel? Is it really true? Is that something spiritual? But how do I know them? I feel this feeling and it feels so different from anybody else, but am I really just making it up because I'm lonely and then just trying to get everything else? And so there is a lot of the hesitation and the confusion for you as well. And there's no conversations, because even if you are in contact with this person, it's nothing to give you answers. It's almost as if there's a block on the communication with what to do and how to do it, because he is just not, he's defending himself from any situation that is going to leave him in a state that he was left in before. Okay, so then we have this one. Oh, Tower. Yeah. That boundary, that state of protection. So, is it a ghost from the past? Is this somebody you've known? and you're waiting for them, but there's a red flag at the top. So there's a lot of trying to figure out what is going on, because you feel it. You feel it, that it is something different, and you've been down this road many lifetimes before. But in the 3D world, it's not showing anything like that. You know, it could have been in a situation where it was very platonic meeting. You guys were talking, and for some reason you somehow brushed hands, or had, you know, he handed you a book or something, and just that little bit of physical contact with your skin was instantaneous reaction for you. It just was a very electric feeling. And like shock, like the other card, shock. So he may have felt it too. And then he built himself a tower to protect himself, just like the mountain, because he doesn't want to put himself in a situation that was like the ghost of his past, like the past relationships. But it's almost as if you're recognizing that and you see through it. So you're waiting, you're just hanging out. You're doing your own thing, you're still growing, but you're just hanging out. Sometimes try not to get lost in your thoughts, but it's heavy, which is why needing to go to the laugh more and do things for you, focusing on your own energy so that you're not getting bogged down by this situation. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. If you are meant to have it, it will come back to you. So why would you want something now that's not the right time for it? If this is the relationship that it feels like within this energy, you want him to take the time to heal from the past relationship. You don't want him to come back to you like this, unable to take you anywhere, unable to provide for you. Not that you're asking for it, but to have a solid foundation. You want this. Somebody able to stand on his own and be confident. Enjoy the sunset. This is what you want. But he's not in that state right now. It says date. Get back out there, meeting someone new, setting a date, dating online. I'm taking this one as you taking the time for yourself. Whatever energy you would spend on somebody else, you need to focus that on yourself. Learning to love yourself. Because once you learn to love yourself, then you're setting a standard for how other people are going to love you. So if you don't commit to your own needs, your own wants, your own desire, your own happiness, you're going to attract somebody that's not going to, or that's going to really mirror it and show those same things. They're not going to be committed to your own needs and desires and your own wants. What you give and allow yourself is what others give and you allow for them to give to you. It's a reciprocity. It's a balance. The universe works on balance. Karma and Dharma. It's superstar. Yeah, you be your own shining star. You do you. And love yourself. And that's going to make more changes than you realize. Yeah, you're letting flies in. So if they're not ready, don't keep the door open. And if it's meant to be yours, it will come to you when the time is right. Focus on you and not on what is going on here. And I know it's hard, but you want it shouldn't have to be work. Yes, there's work involved, but it shouldn't have to feel like you're hitting walls and mountains and having to really justify and try to defend yourself. You shouldn't have a partner that this is how they are when you approach them. Formidable, defensive. Even if you know this is what it is, that it's divine. Okay. I'm not usually so messy with cards, but that's okay. We're gonna move on. I think it kind of adds to the chaos of both of the energies that are there in what's going on. Yeah, he's interested. He is interested, but he's not willing to be vulnerable yet. Not yet. Don't worry, be happy. He's just trying to get where he has no cares, where he can find his own peace. And right now, I don't think that means that it's being in a relationship with anybody. He's had enough of that right now. Biblical. So he could really be starting a spiritual journey. Or maybe finally seeing the difference between spiritual ways of things versus religious ways of things. But I think there is definitely this component, possibly a spiritual awakening, especially if we got the Kundalini on his energy. So he could be starting this process. You know, that betrayal could have been a dark night of the soul, and he just wasn't sure how to navigate it. I'm not getting a lot from the energy. It's very guarded, very, 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 very blocked off for that energy, and it's frustrating for the feminine. Sure, I'm feeling that. Sword and a rose, yeah. Clarity and truth, revelations, honor, protection, determination. Yeah, determined to protect himself. Determined not to end up in that situation. Being appreciative of seeing beauty, but not wanting to touch it for fear of getting hurt. And he may be protective of you from a distance. You know, he may be there for you in the distance, but with his heart getting involved, not yet. Especially if we have this component here. Okay, so then for these two cards, we have voice. You are here to be known, so speak and be seen. And then broken dreams. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. So with this particular one, I see that this is you. This is how he sees you here, right? This muse, this beautiful ethereal creature that is just, he can't even put his eyes on. Just mystifying, magnificent. The energy, the force of it. The golden glowing eyes. So, and again with the stars in the background. So kind of a pull on this one where you just want to be kind of brought in. But this is him right here. This is his energy. Very defeated, very kind of, woe is me, not wanting to look in your eyes, not wanting to be taken in, kind of sulking or pouting, but it's not that. There's good reason for him. It's almost as if he's finally having to really confront the hurt and the pain and is sitting in it and really is seeing the brokenness of the situation, that the illusion of the situation he was in is shattered. And then we have the broken egg, you know. It's just the end of a dream, the end of a life that he once thought he was going to have, and having to come to terms with it. And so there, yeah, I do think it's a no contact situation, or very limited contact, based on the energies here. He can't handle it right now. It's too much. Okay, we're going to come down here. Okay, so we have karmic relationship. And this could have been the situation that brought you in this energy. A job that didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to go, or you had to move back home, or again, I think it's more situational versus a romantic relationship for the karmic relationship. But that is kind of what puts you in your very state of rebuilding and implementing boundaries and focusing kind of on your priorities, reprioritizing what is important for you. Ooh, act, don't react. Yeah, you're being very deliberate with what you do, what you say, how you move. Very conscious about the decisions that you're making, because you're having to navigate this. You're having to really, 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 really sift through things. And so you're being deliberate with what you are doing, what you're saying, who you're interacting with, and who you're giving your time and energy to. Again, we have a karmic relationship. So there may have been multiple karmic relationships that you were having to deal with, that you've had to cut people out of your lives, cut situations out of your lives, to be able to rebuild and be true to who you are, or go on your spiritual path. Mirror. So you're mirroring each other. Self-reflection, introspection, your inner wounds. So you're doing your own work too. And with it saying mirroring, that could be what is happening right now. I think you are a little farther along in the process, but it doesn't mean that you don't understand what's going on. I think you're more in touch with your spiritual side of things, so that makes it a little bit easier to receive guidance or to ask for guidance. Especially since we did get this card here. You know, you are open to the light. There's the enlightenment that's going on there. Even though you're coming here with your boundaries, knowing your worth, eyes wide open to the situation of what's going on. So we have these here. Transitions. You have all of the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Yeah, it's the wisdom. And again, the galaxy behind it. Almost similar to this one. You know your worth. You're wise beyond your years. You see it, but you also know that this is where you need to kind of be with things. Not going head to head with this energy. You just got to sit and wait it out, because you do know that if it's meant for you, it will come back to you. Doesn't mean it's easy to sit in that, but you are willing to do it. You see the situation from a higher perspective. And then we have inner life. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Yeah. Going back to this, right? You are doing your own work, and you trust that Spirit will bring to you, give you guidance, give you peace and calmness, because you are centering your own self. You are coming into your own skin. You are dealing with your own shadows. And by dealing with your shadows, you're making room for more light, and you're able to shine your light. You're in a beautiful place. I know it can be hard, but you're in a much better place than you were when this journey started. I mean, as far as him, I don't know. Let's see. We got one more pile. So let's see where that goes. That ship has sailed. So for me, it means that things are moving. However you want to take it. You know, you are the one that gets to decide if you want to pursue this one or if you don't. If you want to wait or if you don't. That's totally up to you. And I'm not going to give you direction one way or the other. Because everybody has a different journey. But things are moving. You know, he could be really contemplating and looking over things right now. Things are moving. Good, bad, ugly, and different. You know, you can't be falling unless you've been moving. And falling requires getting up. Song and dance. You could be getting messages through music. Those could be synchronicities for you. Trees. You connecting with nature. And I'm also getting the ancient, like you've done this before. It's well rooted. So this is a connection that's well rooted. You've done this song and dance before in many lifetimes. It's the back and the forth, you know, because I don't think that his 3D body remembers, but the subconscious does for him, which is where the struggle is right now. Okay, giving and receiving. The entire universe operates in cycles similar to your inhalations and exhalations. When you only exhale, give, or only inhale, receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energy, and replenishment, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation. Yeah, it's the reciprocity. And if somebody is only taking and not giving, then you need to reevaluate that relationship. If this situation is only taking from you and not giving to you, then walk away. Again, like I said earlier, if it's meant to be for you, it will be for you. Doesn't have to work on your own timeline, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I'm getting the issues with my throat chakra again right now. Okay, joy. Joy is the highest energy of all. It's the magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. Joy allows you to attract and create your present and future moments at their highest possible levels. And the dolphin is a significant spirit animal for some of you in this one that's being brought to my attention. Laugh more. Raise that vibration. Don't let all of that denseness from that masculine energy bring you down. Disconnect if you need to. You got to worry about you. And by you bringing your own vibration up, you're going to attract in things of that vibration. Don't let that energy get you bogged down. It's heavy. It's dense. Even with me just sitting in it, it's heavy and dense. Okay, I have wedding rings, union, marriage, soul connection, everlasting love, devotion. First of all, you need to be devoted to yourself. And I'm seeing the pink, oh gosh, I think they're roses, pink and yellow roses. So that might be significant to some of you. Devote and love yourself first. But I think that it shows that it is a divine union. It is divinely led, which also means that you need to wait on the divine timing of things. And waiting is hard. And that could be part of your journey too, is learning to be patient. Learning to have faith and trusting that things are going to work out the way that they are meant to. But what can you learn along the way on your journey? How can you make the most of the time? And then we have house. Yeah, reestablishing balance, having a happiness within you, cleaning house, getting rid of things, figuratively, literally, getting rid of things that don't serve your highest purpose anymore. Have a yard sale if you need to. Donate things if you need to. Do a spring cleaning if that's something that needs to be done. Go through intentionally and clean your spaces up. In order to have room for the new, you have to make room for it, which requires you to get rid of the old. And that and requires intention. You know, normally I can wrap up these readings very nicely and kind of have clear direction and guidance for you. But I'm not getting that, unfortunately. And that's part of faith. That's part of the divine. But that is also part of the fact that we all have free will. We all get to choose. This masculine gets to choose if he wants to go down that spiritual path or if he doesn't. But just know this, that if that particular person does not choose to do the work needed for the highest good of this connection, that doesn't mean that you will never have that type of love or relationship, because Spirit will send somebody else in that will be equally good, if not better. But that's where the faith part comes in. And don't get so locked in that it's this one person, because that one person ultimately can choose if they want to listen to the divine or not. That doesn't mean that you are not equally less loved. I mean, you are loved no matter what. They're two separate entities, you and this person. And each of you get to decide if you want to be part of this or if you don't. And if they come back and you're not there anymore and you've done growing and you're not on the same vibrational level and you've had conversations not going to work out, it doesn't mean you're stuck because it's what you wanted. You can always change your mind at any point. Your paths may cross again. They may not. This may be a lesson for you, and how can you grow from this? What can you do to learn from this experience? And I think that's the hard part, because sitting in the transition period, sitting in the waiting period is hard. But what are you waiting for? You get to decide. And if you're waiting for them to make up their mind, then don't just sit there and wait. You need to be growing for yourself. There's a difference between waiting and holding space. Okay. Imagine you guys are you're with your friends and family out at a restaurant, and this particular person is going to come and meet you, we'll say 8 o'clock for dinner. Meet everybody for dinner at 8 o'clock. That was the plan. Everybody had it. And 8 o'clock shows up, 8:05, 8:15, and this person has not showed up. So are you just going to sit there and not eat even when the dinner comes to the table? Right? That's waiting. You can wait for them to show up before you eat, or you can just make sure you save a chair and you're holding space, so if they do decide to show up, then you have a chair ready and they can eat whatever they want to, but you're not missing out on anything in your life. You're not missing out on that dinner. That's the difference between waiting and holding space. You can hold space for him to do what he's got to do, but still enjoy your life in the process. And if something comes along that you want to pursue and he still hasn't shown up at the table, then you do that. And that's karma, because he didn't listen to his intuition. He made a decision and used his free will. And that's part of it. That's the balance of it. So, maybe that's kind of the premise of this. You getting to decide if you're going to wait or hold space for somebody. But knowing the difference and knowing the reason why you're doing it. All right, guys, so I think that's all that Spirit has for me to want to kind of deliver to you. I want to thank you if you stuck around. I really do appreciate it. Please hit the like button. If something resonated, feel free to leave me a comment in the description box or the comment section. Any information about getting private reads, that's also in the description box. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and I will talk with you guys in a later video. Thanks so much.